You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a group of Native Americans embark on a journey to Washington, D.C. with a vision of unity for our nation.
Also, a donation with a heart aims to improve recovery for cardiac patients in Joplin.
And we've got heat advisories continuing for some of us. Maybe some pop-up storms out there. A look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 a.m. now on this Wednesday, July the 23rd. We're getting closer to August.
Right.
Certainly feeling like it out there
it
for
really
sure.
is.
Very hot across the area, but the heat not stopping a very important cause.
Yes, and moccasins across America is
making a stop in Miami, Oklahoma. A group of Native American tribes are on a special mission.
Moccasins across America is a prayer evangelism walk across America. And because there's so much going on in America in the political arena and families and with our tribal leaders and in the home, the Lord just wanted to really engage in a way that he's never engaged in the previous years.
This walk is happening because of a prophecy given by Billy Graham in the 70s.
When the Native American awakened from their deep sleep or darkness, the Lord would move upon them and they would be the very nation that he would call to carry the good news to the nation, and they would have a role in turning America back to God. So I asked the Lord, what is my portion in that huge vision of Dr. Billy Graham?
The group left California in May and plan to walk all the way to Washington, D.C. by October.
Healing for a nation begins in the heart of every individual. One nation under God. We're many different tribes and tongues and people. And healing begins in the heart of every individual.
The co-founder, Terry, says anyone is welcome to join.
We invite them to join the walk, or if they would like a prayer. And what we like to see, the result of our compassionate support, is to see that they had an encounter with the presence of God. We hope that they walk away, trusting again in God.
Healing and becoming one nation, one step at a time. In Miami, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
now at the end of the walk in Washington, D.C., the group hopes to have a meeting with President Trump.
Certainly an impressive movement there and an incredible walk to make as well.
Great to make it in Miami. Yeah, great to see that.
So,
wonderful.
Certainly so indeed. And of course, hopefully staying hydrated out there because it has been hot. It has been muggy. It will remain that way. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look. If you look close enough in the light, it's sometimes hard to see, but you can see a few more of those clouds. That's why we're expecting partly cloudy skies for the morning. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, eerily deserted for 7 o'clock in the morning. Where is everybody? They're probably at home in the air conditioning where it's a lot more comfortable than it is to be out here. And honestly, if you could work from home and not have to go out in this heat, maybe not a bad idea. Heat advisories continuing Kansas, Missouri through at least Thursday, Oklahoma through 8 this evening, but again, they'll very likely be reissued later today for tomorrow. However, Delaware and Benton counties were dropped from the latest update for those heat advisories from the Tulsa Weather Office. So maybe some good news there. It doesn't mean it's any better. It just means it's not quite the heat advisory criteria. National Weather Service offices, though, are monitoring the potential for extreme heat continuing into this weekend. So could these be extended or spread over a larger area? It's entirely possible. But one way or the other, you still got to make sure you're paying close attention to your health out there. We're in that range again, 100 to 105 heat index values, making heat-related illnesses possible. But again, for children, pets, the elderly, those with certain medical conditions, this heat feels like this to them. So you got to make sure you're checking in on them. Make sure if you are one of those folks, you're taking care of yourself as well. And for those who do have to be outside, yeah, it's slightly better, but you still need to stay hydrated, take breaks, and find some shade from time to time. All right, future track into the afternoon. Partly cloudy skies, isolated pop-up storm chances, mainly west of I-49 as we head into the afternoon between about 2 and 7. And as we lose the heating of the day, We also lose those pop-up storm chances, and of course with pop-up storms it means most of us will be dry. 76 in Joplin right now, sitting at 74 over in Pittsburgh. Across the region, most of us still low mid-70s. We've got Chanute and Veneta, a couple of warmer spots at 77. Temperatures will continue to climb, eventually low 80s by 9, low 90s by noon. Pop-up storm chances mid-90s for our highs. South winds also breezy again, gusting up to 25. And as we mentioned, heat index values could reach up to 105 degrees. The heat continues. In fact, it gets a little worse before it might get a little better. And we have some additional storm chances for some of us. We'll go over all those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, piece by piece, the old Freeman building in Joplin is officially coming down. Crews started the demolition yesterday on this site at 20th and Sargent. The century-old structure, which has been vacant for several years, is being cleared to make way for future redevelopment. The city of Joplin is helping with the removal of asbestos and demolition of the building using American Rescue Plan Act funding. This site was privately owned but has been donated to the Economic Security Corporation, who plans to develop affordable housing on the property. And doctors say patients need extra support after surgery, and a donation from the Arvis Foundation to Mercy Joplin will help provide just that. Arvis donation will be used to help buy cardiac recovery pillows for patients healing from open heart surgery. Now, these heart-shaped pillows can provide comfort, reduce pain, and protect the patient's incision site. The $4,000 donation will help provide these pillows for at least 200 patients. Those who work with heart surgery patients say these pillows have a big impact in helping with recovery.
Heart surgery involves so many people, and it affects so many people, that I think it's a major community issue, and having other partners in the community realize that it's an important health concern and partnering with us to support our patients and our team, I'm beyond grateful to see that.
Now, this is one of several projects the Arvis Foundation has helped provide with Mercy, and Mercy staff say previous donations have provided potentially life-saving equipment, including free mammograms, a fetal monitor, and an infant warmer. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, the chorus of political voices grows louder in Washington over the Epstein files as Democrats and some Republicans are pushing for more transparency. Sherelle Hubbard has more on the controversy and what the president has to say about a convicted former Jeffrey Epstein associate.
In an era when bipartisan support is hard to come by, some House Republicans and Democrats are teaming up on a measure related to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. They're demanding the Justice Department release all federal documents related to Epstein. Tuesday, House Speaker Mike Johnson said he would send lawmakers home a day early for August recess, effectively blocking a push to force a vote.
This is a cover-up of equitable proportions where you've got the majority party literally having us leave Congress early and not having the Rules Committee meet because they don't want to deal with releasing the Epstein files.
Republican Thomas Massey and Democrat Ro Khanna are leading charge in the House.
Just vote this out, give it to the Senate, and let them do their thing.
But the Speaker says he doesn't think that's necessary and called for patience.
The president has said clearly, and he has now ordered his DOJ to do what it is we've all needed DOJ to do for years now, and that is to get everything released. So they're in the process of that.
Meantime, the Department of Justice says it plans to speak with Epstein's convicted associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. Reporters asked President Trump about the plan in the Oval Office Tuesday.
I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The measure in the House would let lawmakers decide whether to give the Trump administration 30 days to disclose unclassified materials, which needs 218 signatures. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, we'll explore ways to enhance your mental health and well-being. And later, Michigan high school girls meet hands-on training at a camp designed to recruit the next generation of female first responders. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Lamar City Park. Well, Well, this morning we have Jackie Christmas with us to give us information on the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention and also talk about some events that are coming up. Jackie, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. So talk to me about the foundation and the work that you all do.
Yes, thank you so much. I currently serve on the board of directors for the Missouri chapter of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I'm really here to talk about our mission, which is to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. And we do that through a variety of ways, what we refer to as pillars. And the first pillar is education. The second is support. The third is advocacy. And the fourth is through research.
So talk to me a little bit, break those pillars down for me a little bit, and how the foundation utilizes those to help make a difference in people's lives.
Well, so for example, education, which we do have some educational opportunities coming up in Joplin, but we promote evidence-based or sometimes referred to as evidence-informed trainings around suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention. And so one of our signature training programs is called Talk Saves Lives. And we just recently were added to the Suicide Prevention Resource Center's registry of best practices.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. So that's just one of our, it is the signature training that we provide. And so it just lasts about an hour. In Missouri, we offer that monthly, virtually. But if someone in the community wanted a speaker, I'm trained to facilitate that and would be happy, to do that.
So community members can get involved and take this training to be a part of this foundation and help folks in need.
That's correct.
Wonderful. Talk to me about some of these events that you touched on that will be happening later on in the summer and into the fall in Joplin.
Yes, the next thing we have coming up is August 6th and 7th. And this is what we call a third-party training. So we partner with other organizations. And so the organization, excuse me, is called Living Works, and it's an internationally recognized company in suicide prevention. So we're providing ASSIST training. That stands for Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training. And it is a 2-day, 2 full days of training. It has 2 trainers. But it's really for anybody, so it could be anyone who comes in contact with someone who might be suicidal. But it's also for professionals who may want to enhance some of the skills that they may already have.
Absolutely, and suicide can be such a personal topic for many. If people are wanting to get involved, what kind of words of encouragement do you have to say being a part of the organization?
Oh, that there is hope. That there is hope. And if you have lost someone to suicide, if you are impacted in any way as a family or friend, we would love to have you join us. We do an annual walk for Joplin. This will be about, I've lost track of time, 7th or 8th walk. That's October 4th. It's just a community that comes together, and we don't do a lot of idle chit chat because we know why we're there, and so we might say, who did you lose? How long has it been? I'm so sorry for your loss. Would you like a hug? You know, so the walk is intended, it is a fundraiser. Now it doesn't cost anything to register, but then you have the option to raise money. But we're promoting, just awareness around suicide. And we had, last year was our biggest. We had about 500 people turn out. We raised about $30,000. In Joplin, we've grown the walk from a $5,000 walk to a $30,000 walk. And we couldn't do that without the community.
Absolutely.
And then people often ask, where does that money go?
Sure.
does it stay in our community?
Okay.
So half of it goes to national and half of it stays here. And then I can do things like tabling, tabling at events. So I'm going to be doing Third Thursday,
Right.
August and
Okay.
September, and I'll have all the resources out, different materials.
Wonderful.
And so would love for you to, if you're out on a Third
Yes.
Thursday, to stop by and see me.
Absolutely. Well, Jackie, thank you so much for your time today. Lots of important things happening in the community. We'll, of course, have details on our website later on, KOAMnewsnow.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:20 now on this Wednesday morning. We are starting with the future track because we have some pop-up storm chances between 2 and 7, mainly west of I-49. These are going to be isolated. Most of us will be dry, but we could get an isolated shower or thunderstorm out there. Nothing severe expected with that. Be partly cloudy overnight. Got a system to our northwest. Might get a couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder there in our far northwestern counties, just barely scraping us. And then we'll have additional pop-up storms initially on Thursday before at least some of the new data this morning suggesting that we could get some scattered storms in parts of southeastern Kansas late tomorrow evening. After about 6, 7 o'clock, these will remain confined in southeast Kansas. They do try and push southeast. They just don't quite make it before they fizzle out, leaving a few scattered storms in our northern counties by Friday morning. Then we'll have another round of additional pop-up storm chances out there. And we could also get a few additional scattered storms, again, mainly north of 54 as we go into Friday evening and very early Saturday morning before that clears out as well. Heat index values, again, over the next few days are still going to be pushing in that 100 to 105 degree range. So again, you've got to make sure you're taking care of yourself out there. Reminder on our heat advisories. Kansas, Missouri, they continue through Thursday. Oklahoma, they'll continue through 8 this evening. Very likely be reissued again tomorrow. But we did see Tulsa dropped Delaware and Benton counties out of those heat advisories for now. And we haven't seen any new ones out for southeast Kansas yet where they were dropped a couple of days ago. So hopefully it stays that way, but that doesn't mean it's not still hot, it's not still muggy, and it doesn't mean you can't just stop taking precautions. Even if you're not under a heat advisory, we're still talking very muggy conditions. You still got to stay hydrated and take care of yourself out there. And a reminder as well, we have a number of extreme heat safety tips, a great graphic describing the differences between heat stroke and heat exhaustion. All of this on our website, and as long as it stays hot, it'll be there under KOAMnewsnow.com/forecast. Partly cloudy skies, about 80 by 8 o'clock this morning, near 90 by 11 a.m. Again, highs mid-90s, maybe some pop-up storms isolated again between 2 and 7. South winds gusting to 25. Partly cloudy skies through the evening and overnight, still well above average, mid-70s out there. Breezy again tomorrow, south winds gusting to 20. Mid-upper 90s, our two hottest days here, putting those heat index values a lot closer to 105 for many of us. Continuing through Saturday, hot and muggy to start next week. Temperatures, though, with some pop-up storm chances next week, may fall a little closer to normal. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this. Well, first responders in Jackson, Michigan are teaming up to host the second Future Female First Responders Camp.
Now, the kids will spend time with each department, seeing what it's like to serve and protect the community.
Karina Prieto shares the kids' experience.
The Jackson Fire Department currently has no women on the team, and that's why a bunch of high school girls are gearing up this week to see what it's like to be on the job.
These metal things right here is what you pull to extend it.
High school senior Kylie Face is one of this year's future female first responders.
What made me want to be a part of the camp was my love for helping people.
She's excited for what's going to be a very busy and fun week ahead.
We're advancing hose lines, we're doing vehicle extrication, we're putting on gear.
Just like that. Monday's activities started with learning how to put on the nearly 70 pounds of fire gear.
Oh, it's heavy and it's hot.
Assistant Chief Joe Smith says the camp emphasizes teamwork and building confidence.
It's an opportunity for the participants to see what this line of work is in a safe, conducive environment.
Part of that confidence is facing fears.
We sprayed the hose, we went up in the tower. That was fun, even though I was terrified of heights.
For her, having real female first responders leading the camp has made all the difference.
It helps basically just to say, oh, hey, women can do this too, not only men.
pull those out to the side. Jenna Pollins from the Toledo Fire and Rescue Department is one of those women.
Allow them to answer those questions so that they're not confused about if this is something that they want to do. It's kind of like a safe space to give them all that information that they need.
So just to show them that they can do the job, that they belong in this line of work.
And the encouragement and support during camp seems to be working. Faith says she'll pursue a career as a first responder after graduating from high school next year.
Very impressive camp.
It really is great to see. And, you know, who knows where that my camp will lead them and what it might inspire them to do.
Yeah, and being able to share these stories. I know it's not in our area, but being able to share these stories with folks in our area, it's just that reminder. You can do anything, anywhere, anytime.
Great to see. Well, coming up, a groundbreaking partnership gives high school students a fast track to becoming doctors and dentists.
And we've got a hot and muggy day out there. Heat advisories continue. Another look at your forecast right after this. Time now, 7:28.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. Well, they were kicking up their heels last night in Pittsburgh. These were participants in a clogging pop-up class. Now, in case you didn't know, clogging is a type of folk dance that uses percussive footwork. This class was open to anyone ages 7 and up. The instructor says she's been doing this since she was just a couple of years old, and her mother was also an instructor. Now, she says it can be fun and beneficial for anyone.
I hope that they have a sense of fun. I mean, it's kind of a neat part of American heritage, and I just want people to come in at any age or any shape and just have a good time with it.
BTC Athletics conducted the event. Let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves another hot and muggy day out there. So if you are planning on doing any clogging, you'll want to do it indoors where it's air conditioned because it's going to be too hot to do it on the streets today. We got some clouds out there starting to go partly cloudy. Of course, live look downtown Pittsburgh. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line in Joplin. It is looking back to the north and it is looking at cars as folks get this hot Wednesday underway. Heat advisories continuing Kansas, Missouri through Thursday. Oklahoma, again, they'll run through 8 this evening. Very likely be reissued for tomorrow because, as we've talked about, Tulsa goes day by day with these. But still, got to deal with these heat index values. So we're still in that 100 to 105 degree range. Heat-related illness is possible. But remember, elderly, pets, children, those with certain medical conditions, it really starts to feel like this for them. They're a little more susceptible to the heat, so just make sure you're checking on them, and of course that you're taking care of yourself. Some slight good news, between 2 and 7 today, we have a window for maybe some pop-up showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two in southeast Kansas mainly. There won't be that much. Most of us will be dry, but you know, at least it's something out there. 76 in Joplin right now, 75 in Pittsburgh, and around the region, temperatures look like this. We still have some low 70s out there, especially in the parts of southwest Missouri, Monette, Cassville, both at 72, a couple of cooler spots. The rest of us, though, getting into the mid to upper 70s. Temperatures, of course, will continue to climb. Low 80s by 9, low 90s by noon, and then we'll have those pop-up storm chances, mid 90s for our highs. South winds gusting upwards of 25 at times, and, of course, unfortunately, heat index values could reach up to 105. The heat does continue, but we do have a few additional scattered storm chances. We're going to go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. And don't forget to download the KOAM Skywatch weather app for severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge, available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Well, a recent report from the National Rural Health Association shows that physician shortages continue to grow. Now, that study showing the burnout and staffing shortages are a problem. Even worse. Now, multiple groups are coming together to address the problem right here. KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports the goal is to fast-track students from underserved areas into careers as doctors and dentists.
We need more medical professionals in this region.
Chris Childers is the Dean of Arts and Sciences at Pitt State University. Addressing the shortages of doctors and dentists in the 4-state area is why Kansas City and Joplin, MSSU, Pitt State, and 8 community colleges are teaming up.
And if we're going to really improve health outcomes in rural communities, we've got to have better access to health care, which means more healthcare providers.
The program aims to provide high school students a fast track to becoming a doctor or a dentist.
I think we all hope to see is students in high schools from these small towns and rural communities go through this pathway. So in many cases that would be attending a community college for a year and then coming to Missouri Southern State University or Pitt State University.
Not only that, these educators hope these students won't forget where they came from.
So it's so important that we work together long term to keep talent here, to grow that talent, to provide opportunities.
Students who have a substantial background of growing up in rural communities, smaller communities, are much more likely to return and establish practices in those types of communities.
Now, normally these schools are about competition for students in athletics and more, but for this cause, they're pulling it together.
We're all here to serve students, and I think it's exciting that the opportunities that will be provided.
I think today was a historic day because we are today one team.
And professionals I spoke to today says the biggest thing they want to see is change. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Let's look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A priest who knows miracles firsthand now brings hope to young patients facing their own battles. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Lamar City Park. Well, in Consumer Watch, one of the policies being advocated by New York City Democratic mayoral nominee Zohran Mamdani is city-owned grocery stores. Fox Business correspondent Kelly Saberi looks at how one such operation in Kansas City, Missouri is doing so.
KC Sunfresh has received tens of millions of taxpayer dollars from Kansas City since opening in 2018. Despite this, the store lost more than $850,000 last year, and the shelves are no longer stocked.
There's no meat, there's no vegetables, there's no nothing.
If you didn't know better, you might think the 38,000 square foot market was about to close.
I used to come here and I used to walk here. And then after a while, it's like, wow, I can't get what I need here.
The store came under its current management, a nonprofit, in 2022. Crime and loitering increased as the pandemic ended. Law enforcement is now present inside the store.
Is anything can be done? What is the real answer? I don't have to drive out. Look at all this. You got all this. Why should I have to go anywhere else?
The strip mall is owned and maintained by the city. While some may blame the store's downfall on crime, other supermarkets in this neighborhood are still operating.
It is my worldview that we really shouldn't be, as government, in the business of buying groceries on the shelves, particularly when there are other grocery stores around the city.
New York's Democratic mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani has proposed redirecting city funds from corporate supermarkets to city-owned stores. Those stores would not pay rent or property taxes. Some private grocers say they will stop operations in New York if Mamdani were to bring the plan to action.
Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
And that's a look at our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:42 now on this Wednesday morning, and we're starting with the future track because for the first time in several days, there are some things to show you. We've got some pop-up storm chances between approximately 2 and 7 this evening, or this afternoon into the evening, mainly west of I-49. We're not going to see a bunch of rain out of this, but at least a couple of us may get a brief shower or thunderstorm. Most of us, though, will be dry. Overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, there's a system out to our west, might barely clip our northwestern counties. You can see it just barely getting in there. Otherwise, 98% of us will be dry. 99% of us will be dry. Then we'll have another round of pop-up storms into the afternoon. And then by the evening, again, some updates this morning, some things that weren't there yesterday. And again, with the way things go, these could disappear by noon today or tomorrow. But we do see some thunderstorm chances, mainly confined to southeast Kansas after about 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Not expecting anything severe, and these storms do try and push south and east. There's just not enough energy down here for them. Then they begin to kind of retreat back north, our northern counties, by early Friday, a few scattered storms out there. Then we'll have another round of potential pop-up storms throughout the day on our Friday. And then we could get some additional isolated storms again in our far northern counties. So up north of 54 will be the better chances. And even then, those chances are pretty slim. But at least it's something. for some of us. Heat index values, again, climbing 100 to potentially 105 for most of us today, but not all of us. That'll be the case again for tomorrow. We start to see, again, 100 to 105 degree heat index values out there, which will continue into Friday. As you can see, uncomfortable to say the least, and will last through at least Saturday. So here's the thing, though. Our heat advisories expire Thursday evening. However, National Weather Service offices are keeping an eye on the trend for potential extensions of these heat advisories through the upcoming weekend. So we got to see exactly what plays out with the heat. It is looking likely, though, that it is still going to stay potentially dangerously hot into the weekend and through the start of next week. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these get extended or maybe expanded in coverage as well, because as of right now, this is all we've got in terms of heat advisories. We also, again, as a reminder, have a number of extreme heat safety tips on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com/forecast. As so long as this hot weather is around, we'll be adding these tips to our forecast page every day with our updates, so that way you have this resource available to you anytime, anywhere you may be. All right, there's some clouds over there, so starting to eventually go partly cloudy through the morning, near 80 by 8, near 90 by 11 o'clock this morning. Pop-up storms again from 2 to 7 as a possibility. Mid-90s for our highs, south winds gusting to 25. Into the evening we go. Again, by 7, last of the pop-up storms should begin to wrap up. We're still partly cloudy, still very warm. Low 80s by 10 o'clock tonight. Back into the mid to upper 70s again, so well above average for our lows. Just a reminder, our average low is 70, and our average high should be about 91. Partly cloudy, winds ease up a bit, south 5 to 10. Gusting up again to 20 tomorrow. Temperatures climbing mid-upper 90s as we head through tomorrow into the weekend. Pop-up storm chances, again, maybe an evening storm chance or two on Thursday as well in Kansas. We'll still deal with temperatures above normal through the beginning of next week, but by the second half of next week, we get some additional pop-up storm chances out there. And as you see, and hopefully this holds, our temperatures, while still hot, start to fall back a little closer to normal. That's a check of your forecast. We've got more of the KOAM morning news right after this.
Well, he was told he'd never recover from a devastating car crash.
Now, Father Joe Detweiler uses his survival story to inspire young patients at St. Louis Children's Hospital.
Mike Bush has more on this incredible story.
O God, who in the abasement of your Son have raised up a fallen world.
At St. Patrick's Parish in Wentzville, Father Joe Detweiler celebrates weekday morning mass like any other priest.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
But there's something in his movements that speak of a man who doesn't just preach about miracles, he is one.
It's a gift to my life every day. Blessed are you, Lord God of all creation.
While his mornings begin at the altar, they rarely end there. Because when the last hymn fades,
the body of Christ.
Father Joe often stops by St. Louis Children's Hospital. Not to preach,
the body of Christ,
but to be present.
One of the most important parts of accompanying someone through this kind of struggle is just being there.
Today, he's visiting with 18-year-old Jaden Amos.
Take your time.
Who's learning to walk again after being shot in the head by a friend playing with a gun.
Nice work.
It's going good, but it's hard.
What year in high school are you going to be?
But Father Joe doesn't just offer prayers and comfort.
Got home late, didn't get to bed on time.
He offers something even more powerful. Understanding.
We lost control of the car and we hit a tree at about 40 miles an hour.
The crash happened 15 years ago when Joe was 17. He had been driving his younger sister home from the family lake. By the time first responders arrived, Joe was unresponsive.
Usually I'm told that it takes 20 minutes to get people out of cars. For me, it took 45 minutes. For my sister, it took 2 hours.
They were both airlifted to St. Louis Children's Hospital in critical condition. But Joe's injuries included trauma to the brain.
So I was in a coma for 74 days, and waking up, it was like waking up into a dream.
And to the medical staff, the dream of recovery seemed out of reach.
We did not expect that he would be a rehab candidate.
But Joe defied every prediction.
Good to see you.
When we first met him 15 years ago, the Detweiler family was returning to Children's Hospital 2 years after the accident.
Thank you so much. Always good to see you.
Joe and his sister were bearing gifts and gratitude for the army of people who saved their lives.
Because they care for patients, but also they care for families too, because every kid's part of a family. Were you ever in a coma?
Yeah.
Today, when Jaden looks at Father Joe, he sees something more than a priest. he sees possibility.
He was around the same age, and he is now walking good and talking good and looking good.
Good job. Really plant your cane in front of you.
For Jaden, it's hope.
Bring your right foot through.
For Joe, it's purpose.
God can take something so terrible and use that same thing as a gift. Hi, Tony.
Nice to see you.
Tony.
And all these years later, one of his former caregivers still remembers what the attending neurologist once said.
This unit has only seen one true miracle, and that is Joe Detweiler.
Blessed are those called to the supper of the Lamb.
He didn't become a priest because of what happened, but perhaps what happened made him better at it.
It's really true. God really does have a plan.
Because sometimes the most powerful kind of healing doesn't come from surviving pain, but turning it into someone else's hope.
May Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Wow, what an incredible story.
Certainly so.
I am just taken aback by that story and his recovery and what he's doing with his life now.
Absolutely.
That was impressive.
It really
impressive indeed.
Yes.
And like he said, truly, you can take some of those bad situations and make them great again.
Absolutely. Yes,
sure.
you can.
Well, we've still got heat to deal with, unfortunately, out there. Quick look at the Skywatch storm tracker, the future track rather, between 2 and 7. Again, could get an isolated pop-up shower or storm west of I-49. Be fairly limited. Most of us will be dry. We'll have another round of pop-up storms again for us Thursday afternoon before we see additional, maybe. I want to emphasize the maybe because these storms didn't show up yesterday. They're showing up this morning. They may not show up again tomorrow. But at least there's a chance by tomorrow evening, after about 6 or so, for some scattered storms for some of us in southeast Kansas. We'll see how this pans out. Hopefully they stick around. We could use some rain. Any of us could use some rain, and at least that looks like some kind of rain. Otherwise, scattered storms will then continue in our northern counties, or at least north of 54 Friday morning. More pop-up storms by Friday evening, and then we'll have some additional isolated scattered storms late in the evening Friday. Again, primarily north of 54 out there. Heat advisories, Kansas, Missouri through Thursday evening still. Parts of Oklahoma through 8 this evening. Very likely will be reissued tomorrow. And of course, don't forget KOAMnewsnow.com/forecast. A number of extreme heat safety tips for you out there. Near 80 to start our day and near 90 by 11 o'clock this morning. Got another look at your forecast and your wake up recap right after this. Time now, 7:54.
Well, this is your wake up recap for July 23rd. The top stories to start your day. A donation from the Arvis Foundation will help provide extra support after surgery for Mercy patients. Arvis donation will be used to help buy cardiac recovery pillows for patients healing from open heart surgery. Now, the $4,000 donation will help provide these pillows for at least 200 patients. Mercy staff say previous donations have provided potentially life-saving equipment, including free mammograms, a fetal monitor, and an infant warmer. And leaders from 8 area community colleges, Missouri Southern, PSU, and Kansas City University Joplin launched the Rural Health Scholars Program yesterday afternoon. The goal is to fast-track students from underserved areas into careers as doctors and dentists. KCU Joplin officials say nearly 65% of primary care health professional shortages are in rural areas, and less than 12% of physicians practice there. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we've got heat advisories again for some of us through Thursday. Highs today, mid-90s. Isolated pop-up storms west of I-49 between 2 and 7. South winds gusting to 25. And again, heat index values up to 105. Partly cloudy through the evening and overnight, still above normal, mid-70s out there. Pop-up storms tomorrow, maybe a few scattered storms in southeast Kansas late tomorrow evening. Still breezy, still hot. Heat index values remaining into the 100 to 105 degree range.
Alrighty. Well, 6 rehabilitated sea turtles were returned to the ocean off Massachusetts yesterday morning. This following about 7 months of care for life-threatening hypothermia-related conditions, according to the New England Aquarium.
The aquarium treated 518 live sea turtles this past cold stunning season. As the release season in Massachusetts winds down, the aquarium continues to care for 6 remaining turtle patients after returning 36 turtles to Nantucket Sound this summer. Certainly a great opportunity to get those turtles taken care of, get to see them go back out into the ocean. And of course, if you're dealing with the heat, the ocean, maybe not a bad place to go. Some ice cream, good idea to go along with all of that too.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We will be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.